Hey, best friends. Welcome to the Bestie Advice Podcast. Where we discuss all things relationships.
Welcome back to the Bestie Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Irene Abrams, and I'm here with my bestie, our co-host, Lady Kiran Hayes.
Hey, besties.
We are so excited about tonight's show. This is actually like a reshoot because we wanted it to be so authentic that we got this person's food, y'all. I'm ready. I already took the top off, the lid off. It's one of my favorite dishes. Show yours. Already. I know. Oh my God, shrimp and grits. So
good,
I am just so excited. We are here with Shunchitta Ray with Backyard Eats. I am just like so excited.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pumpkin, for agreeing to be a part of the Bestie Podcast. We have known her for so many years.
Yes.
I think I've been knowing her since she was 18. So she was like fresh out of high school. And I remember maybe 18, 19, how we just started talking. Like we wasn't never even formally introduced. We just started talking.
Not ever.
And
I still don't even know her. I don't even know her
I
name.
know, right?
I don't even know her name.
We just started talking. And so from there, I found out that she does hair, and we just formed a friendship, a bond. We're both a part of worship and arts.
Yes.
And so I really enjoy working with her.
Everybody went to Original Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church. Missionary Baptist Church. Yes.
So we are just so excited to have her.
North LeClaire. Was that the address?
Chicago Avenue.
Chicago
You already know.
Okay, well, on the corner of Chicago.
On the corner. On the corner.
It was lit.
Yes.
And what makes this podcast special is this is our first mukbang. And so for those of you that don't know what a mukbang is, it's actually Koreans started this where they eat a large amount of food while they're on camera. Kiran aren't going to eat a large amount of food. I might eat all of this.
They don't have a large amount of food.
I might eat all of this, but this is our first mukbang and our first podcast on location.
Yes.
Only Pumpkin could do that. Bring us out on location. We don't go every place.
Food will get you out, baby.
Yes, it will. So we're going to talk all about Pumpkin's catering. You know, her whole family has businesses, and Pumpkin has been in entrepreneurship all her life. She does not know the 9-to-5 experience at all. So I really want to talk to her about, you know, how she's been able to successfully operate and own not only 1, 2, but 3 successful businesses on her own, as well as her daughter and her husband. So we want to learn all things Backyard Eat and all things Code Gray. So Kiran, what do you think?
They don't even want to talk to me, y'all. They ready to eat.
I'm ready.
No, just tell the truth in this.
Yes,
I'm ready.
But we're going to try it. We're going to try it.
I'm going to let Kiran ask the first question because I'm going to take my
trying to
first
eat.
bite. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes.
She's going to burn up
Right. So first we want to just jump right on in here. I've been knowing Pumpkin maybe a couple of years before Irene actually met her. I actually met Pumpkin at New Mount Vernon
Missionary Baptist Church.
Well, at the time, Dr. Cleve
Dr.
Mensa was
Cleve.
the pastor of the church, and she was a part of the praise team.
Oh my goodness.
She was a hairstylist.
Yes.
When I met her. So I do want to kind of start there because Pumpkin was young, but she was doing some hair, y'all.
Very young.
She wasn't doing kids hair. She was doing grown people hair.
Those French rolls.
When I did the kids that they had grown people hair.
Right.
Exactly. So we want to just kind of jump right in there with her being a young entrepreneur as far as how you got things started.
Yeah.
As far as with your hair business. And did you used to do nails?
I started with nails.
See,
and
I
did
know
it
it was
She know me. She forgot that she know me.
See?
Yes,
So let's go back there as far as how you actually got started in business. Period.
Sure. Okay, so here's the thing. My family, first of all, is just a creative type of family, but we didn't understand what that was.
Yeah.
Back then, we was just doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually I was going to Douglas. So I think I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Wow, that young.
And you know, that's when the Asians came on the scene, the nail shops. You know, the nail shops, and they were the ones, they was killing the game. I was going, we were going. Yeah. 8th grade graduation, all that stuff was coming up. And I'm like, I could do these designs. I could do these sticks. I could do this acrylic. And me and my auntie Sharonda, we started buying that stuff, and we went right in that basement, and we started fouling all the skin off our nails. Until we figured it out. Right. And we had people coming to get their nails done. They would get dog paws and drags. And
oh my God.
It's recreated now.
Yes.
We were doing that. And from there, I did that all the way. No, and then in 8th grade, Stacy Lawrence. She worked at a hair shop on Madison right before you get to Austin. Perfect profiles. And she was putting all these big ponytails and stuff in my hair. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Yeah. And I started trying it. And it just worked. And so through high school, I think in 9th grade, I went to Westinghouse and I didn't take cosmetology at Westinghouse for the record. No, I didn't. I was in food service and it came back around.
See how God do it. See how he do it.
So I wasn't interested.
This trumpet grits is good.
I wasn't interested in doing hair or cosmetology there, but I was bringing people on the Chicago Avenue number 66 bus. They was coming home with me after school, and I was doing their pin curl ponytails. We was doing nails. We was doing all that, and from there, that's what it was. I just kept up. I was able to see the style.
That's good.
And I was like, okay, I can do that, and I did it, and it worked for me. That's so good. That's what. And then I had my godmother, Darlene Keys. She used when the hair academy used to be in Oak Park. I can't even think of I can't think of the name of it. She took me to her to the school. She used to work there. She was an instructor. This was years ago. And she gave me my first pair of Marcel curling irons, and she let me play around with stuff. And again, I just kind of tossed that stuff to the side, but then it came right on around, full circle. So I've been exposed to this kind of stuff kind of all my life. You know, my grandma done burned me with the straightening comb.
Yeah.
My mama done gave me them stupid bangs. Vicky done gave me an asymmetrical cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this is what it was. That's how that got started. And it just, in high school, maybe it took on a leg of its own. I was like, yeah, okay. I was hustling. I was making money. Yeah. So the stuff that they doing now, I'm like, oh baby, I ain't interested in that. I did that at 15.
Yeah.
So, that's how that got started. Yeah.
That's good. I noticed that your gift, your talent, is really in your hands.
Yes.
You are very, very creative. So let's go back to even younger than 15. Let's go like when you were a little pumpkin. And I've seen the pictures with the Michael Jackson pumpkin, jacket.
Not a pumpkin.
When you was little pumpkin.
We all had
we did. But when you were that age, little pumpkin, did you kind of feel that you were creative then, or feel that you were different? Because creative people learn a little bit different. I know I do. I had to kind of teach myself a different way. Like I needed to see it. I'm very visual. And so take me back to even before you started doing trust appeal and backyard, eats. Before that, like what would you do?
Okay. So before that, as far as I can remember, I didn't know to consider myself as creative. I just like to do stuff. So like I'll even start back when we used to go outside. I probably was like 4 or 5. My BFF then, her name was Marquita Martin. My grandparents still live across from my grandma. And we would go outside every day. Now this is probably where the cooking came from. I'm not sure. We would go outside and we would pick the weeds and do all that stuff and call ourselves making greens, and we would take the sweet potatoes. And then we had like our Barbies, because Barbie was the big thing.
Yeah, Barbie was the big thing.
We had the mansions and the clothes, so we was designing them. We were doing the hair. But again, to us, because we were kids and we had imagination and our parents put things in front of us that we could put our hands to and be creative with, they didn't leave it up to us. They gave us things to kind of, and so, I mean, it started with that. Like I said, doing the Barbie's hair, doing each other's hair, picking the weeds, making them greens. Like I can remember that stuff at 4 or 5 years old. We would do that coming up, because my grandparents was the type, you know, you can't go to everybody's house, you can't go to everybody's party, but we have a party, so we done created our own Halloween parties, and like we like put it in full effect. My mom coloring everybody had in the house, coloring her own hair. So like it goes on and on. My dad cooked, my dad know how to do hair, knew how to do hair. So it just went on and on and on.
Definitely.
So like even before 12, like I was doing things, I just didn't know that I was creative.
Yeah.
Now I knew that I was different.
Yeah.
But you know, I was always the teacher. And I was never the student when we played school.
Right. Okay.
Like, you know, because it was just something, it was like, no, y'all ain't doing that right, you know. But again, not knowing that I was the leader that I would be, not knowing that I was creative. I didn't know none of that.
Right.
I just was a kid who liked to do that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, that's as far
good.
as I can, you know, kind of remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I had a good childhood. I went outside and played.
Yeah,
That's
girl,
what
I
I
did
did.
too. So I need the babies to kind of go back to
They need
that,
to go outside.
to find
Let's
that.
be kids.
Yeah,
Right,
to
go
find
outside
that
and find your niche.
and find it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
bringing us up to date, you know, I mentioned a little bit about your business and your background, but tell us like the name of your business. How did you get started? What motivated? And we'll touch on the other businesses, but I want to talk about this delicious. I got to show y'all again. Y'all should be, I wish y'all could smell this. Let's talk about your catering. Wait, what happened?
I wasted.
I'm sorry. It's so good. It's so good, y'all. I need to do
I
it.
get to trying to show you. I ain't showing you.
Karan not gonna show y'all her food no more. But it's good.
We'll show you the napkin that she used.
Right.
That's all y'all going.
Because I'm gonna tell you, this is like amazing. So really, talk about your business, the name of your business, you know, how did you get started, and really what motivated you to start Backyard Eats? It's a very unique concept. And so, you know, let's talk about that.
Okay, so let me first reference, because even when we were talking about childhood, what I did mention was how we had to go to Arkansas and Mississippi every year. Now, my grandma, who lives here, the grandma y'all know, who lives here, she always cooked. Like, I hated the fact that she cooked all them Sunday meals every day of the week. Like, I'm a kid, I want McDonald's. I don't want that.
You
So
said
I hate it. I didn't want no stuffed bell pepper. What is that?
I understand.
You know, so with
But
her,
now the stuff bell
this
peppers
is the stuff that she did every day, and I would see her do it. But my great grandma, her mother, Laura Beatrice Washington Dorsey, from Clydesdale, Mississippi, we would go down there every summer, and for some reason, when she cooked, I'm in the kitchen, and she would let me help. She never gave me measurements. And again, I'm just thinking, ain't nothing else to do down here. I just like to be in the kitchen. Right?
Yeah.
And so I have to give credit to those that came before me. Not my mama. My mama will go to the store and buy me whatever I want. She wasn't gonna cook too much of nothing. She could cook chitlins. But my mama, she wasn't the one. But my grandma and my great grandma, for being that hands-on.
Yeah.
So I'll start there because I forgot to mention her in my coming up, because I stayed in the kitchen in Mississippi.
Hey, Mama Dorsey.
But like moving to present, so the Backyard Eats concept comes from this. A few years back, it's been a long while now.
It has been.
We've been in COVID was 3 years now.
Yeah.
So
Man.
before then, so there's this thing where we would hang out after church, and it was the summertime. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put some on the grill. And Irene, China, Sharonda, something was like, okay, well, we coming over. Or it got to the point where they'll be like, I'm going to get some chicken. I'm going to get a cabbage. You gonna cook it? We coming over. And so it became this thing on Sundays where that was where we hung out, we fellowship, we cooked, we ate. You know, I had some missed moments. Don't get it twisted. I had missed moments, but you know, we worked on it, and that became a thing. That became our bonding time, our fellowship time. I can't even say girls' time, because you had the fellas too.
Fellas came.
So it just became like a fellowship on Sunday. So it's like, you know, when the pandemic hit, I was still cooking. Other people didn't want to cook, so I found myself cooking for other people. And I'm like, okay, I do this. I like doing this.
Yes.
Let's put this to, you know, I was like, you out there now?
Yeah.
I done scratched everything else you was doing, everything else that had your attention, everything else you thought you should have, could have been doing. It's been scratched because we've been shut down. And I was able to zero in and kind of focus on that. And took off because again, we're in the pandemic. People who usually don't have to cook had to cook because we shut down.
Exactly.
They ain't know nothing about Thanksgiving because I can't go to my mama's house.
Yeah.
So I had to step up to the plate for other people. Those people became my family. I became a part of their Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
And then I was talking with my auntie Sharonda. One night we was talking about just like the name or whatever. And she actually the one that mentioned. I got to be her. She was like, "Well, what about because everybody has something eats or eat something." And she was like, "Well, what about backyard eats?" And I thought about it. I'm like, that's where it started.
It did start in the backyard.
We would sit out there and just make up menus and things like that. And then from there, like I said, over the pandemic, that took off. And then Mike, our cousin Swole, he started coming over. And then so now we created this thing called Freeload Sundays. They knew Pumpkin gonna cook something.
Oh yeah.
Every Sunday. And anybody can come get a plate. You can stay if you want to. If you don't, get your plate and go. And so now here we are, 3 years later, and we have a full-fledged Backyard Eats LLC.
Yeah.
And that's that. And I'm still cooking for people and loving it and making every fellowship better because they got good food.
So she doesn't charge. She didn't, what she didn't share is her Freeload Sunday.
It's just that. Freeload.
Because I remember, and that's a blessing, which is why I think your business is blessed and you see such an overflow and you're busy now. Is because what she didn't mention is she didn't charge. I remember on a summer night, she was like, "I'm doing hamburgers," and I came and it was like I was, at a Vienna stand restaurant.
Cook the order.
And she cooked the order. What does Mitchell want? What does Marcello want? What do you want? And we had Mitchell's little cousins with us, and they, right? What do they want? And I was like, this girl is really doing this, and I asked her how much. She was like, "No, it's nothing." And so, that speaks a lot to her character, her passion, because now she's seeing the fruit of the seed that she's sown.
So do you think that during the pandemic, Pumpkin, that was like the time where you were able to kind of cultivate your business, expand your business, get into more recipes, create more recipes as far as during that time? Because like you say, God shut everything out. So the hair thing, no, can't do the hair thing right now. Can't do no nails right now or whatever. But I actually am able to like market as far as this particular business.
So yeah, you said it all. That's exactly how it went. Because there was nothing else, but still having that. Because for me, Backyard Eats it's a business, but everybody see my hashtag all the time. Business is ministry, ministry is business. That's just me. So, and I feel like when you feed people, when people eat good, they feel good. There's this genuine fellowship. There's this godly fellowship. That's, it's just something food brings people together, So yeah, over the pandemic, because again, I wasn't doing nothing else, even when it comes to, like you said, the whole hair thing, I'm not going to jeopardize my family because my setup is on my lower level in my home. So it's like, yeah, even though, because you had some people who was like, yeah, I know they said everything shut down, but can you?
Exactly.
No, I follow the rules of the land.
Yeah.
I follow the law. No, I can't. So, so that was shut down. Schools were shut down. So Lavelle, Lavelle was at home. I was being a mama, but my kid was older. Like she didn't really need a whole lot, from me or whatever. But at the end of the day, everybody still needed to eat. And those people who were not used to having to provide meals now had to figure out what we finna do.
Exactly.
Because I don't cook. Because some people actually admitted I can't cook.
Yeah.
You didn't have, it wasn't easy access to all the restaurants and all the eating out and things like that. So it was just like, yeah.
And you sure didn't want nobody to come dropping no food off.
Let me tell you something.
Right.
So I do feel like that in the pandemic, for me, I can't speak for everybody else, lesson learned, so many different things learned and figured out during that time. It was like, let me shut all this down, because anybody that know me, and let me just say this, anybody that know me, I was headstrong when it comes to church. Anything that I did at church, everything was scheduled around it.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
That's not good or bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, no, I got to do this at church, and then I can do this. So I really didn't even understand what I was putting on the back burner. And God was just like, well, you ain't doing that either. Because the church shut down. So what you doing? And it was just like, okay, well, then And then again, it brought fulfillment. When I started, the more I did it, the more I felt, I was like, okay, this is ministry now.
Yeah.
It's not just a bit. I don't do it because, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to put this out there. It's not the money for me.
Yeah.
It's the fulfillment.
Yes.
Yeah.
The look on people's faces, the responses that you get from making somebody's gathering that much greater, or to know that somebody's family came together again at the family table because they actually had something to sit down to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's fulfilling. Or even the times during the pandemic where we gathered the masses and I cooked the homeless shelters a whole Thanksgiving meal.
You did, yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not gonna feed you nothing that I would eat. So I'm not gonna take, rice and rolls. No, they had turkey and dressing and tips, and that was fulfilling. And for a season, I think I did that consistently, like every couple of months.
Yeah.
And the joy that brought, because even going out, the people that were homeless ended up prophesying and confirming things. Like, we look like, okay, well, God, you still confirming. Okay, I gotta keep going. But Lord, I'm out here trying to minister to these people, and they done got me. So it's just like God has just been kind of walking every step of the doors are opening. People that, I didn't necessarily depend on a certain group of people to support, but quote unquote, those that you think will support. It's like God ain't necessarily wiped them away, but doors are, I'm serving people who I don't know you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to be like, Lord, I don't know them. It seems weird.
Yeah.
But what did I call you to do? So I'm meeting new people. Doors are opening. Corporate doors are opening. So, but again, I still got my loyal circle. I got my people that's going to support regardless.
Yeah.
Join us next time for part 2.
Thanks for joining us today. See you next time.